On tonight's Fit to Eat, we serve up beef and broccoli with brown rice. We visit the Southern Foodways Alliance at Ole Miss. We show you how to pick the leanest cuts of beef at the grocery store. And we welcome registered dietitian Rebecca Turner to the show. Welcome back to Fit to Eat. I'm your host, Chef Rob Stinson. Tonight, registered dietitian Rebecca Turner is our special guest. Rebecca will be joining us each week on the show, providing us with nutritional advice and tips to keep our diet healthy and diverse. Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's so good to be here, Rob.
Absolutely. All right, well, tonight we're taking the traditional dish of beef and broccoli with rice and putting a new and healthy twist on it.
Ooh.
We're going to be using thin sliced top sirloin in garlic and homemade stock with no salt or preservatives, and then a vegetable brown rice served with bitter green salad. Sounds killer, huh?
Oh, I'm getting hungry just listening to you describe
I'm telling you, it is so good. And first place we're going to start is with rice. What I really want to do is show people how easy it is to do rice correctly with flavor. So we're going to bring our pot right over to the board.
And you know, rice is such a staple in most people's home, but just by making this one switch, you're going to impact your family's health.
Brown rice. Remember that,
Absolutely.
gang. So we're going to put in the brown rice. So it's 1 part rice, no matter how much, whether that's 4 cups, 1 cup, to 2 parts. And I use a natural, no salt stock. So 1 to 2.
Now, it would be best to cook this in a really large pot.
And that's what I suggest. Right, you do a
time.
big batch, because what you can do is cook it ahead and then put it in resealable freezer bags. You can freeze it, put it in the refrigerator. It lasts forever. So it's a great way to have it when you need it.
And absolutely affordable.
And perfect way to deal with this. So you cover this. We're going to head back over, put it on the back heater over here on very low heat, and it'll take about 25 to 30 minutes. So we've done the presto changeo. You know, it makes it kind of fun to be able to have it ready. And we're using the exact system, and I'm going to show you how to do a great, flavorful vegetarian rice. So I think this is a wonderful dish to kind of exemplify using this, not that. That's what we're talking about, right?
Absolutely. You know, because you're getting your whole grains and fiber when you switch to the brown rice, but cooking it straight and not using maybe one of the quick cook rices. You talk about cooking it for a long time. What does simmering look like when I'm cooking it at home and I look down?
Just a slight bubble.
Just a slight bubble.
A slight bubble.
So it's not a roaring boil for 40 minutes.
No, because what will end up happening is you might scorch it on the bottom. So you leave it that way,
Guilty.
the lid on. You've done that before, huh? It's easy, though. So now let's talk a little bit about the beef and broccoli. Since we've got the rice going, this is a great dish, but classically, it's loaded with sodium.
Yes.
Okay, as an Asian dish, beef and broccoli has soy. So we're using a soy substitute. It's an amino acid base, has no salt at all. Great. A natural stock with no salt. A little bit of red wine, just to add that flavor, which for those people that don't want it, can leave it out. They don't have to have it. And you could add a little water just for juice. And then some flavorful onion, garlic, pepper, and diced red bell pepper.
And you know, it's important to cook with low sodium options because heart disease still is the #1 killer here in the United States and in Mississippi. And salt is that one food ingredient that really increases your risk for heart disease and high blood pressure, correct?
All right, let me grab, I'm gonna come back and grab over here a little bit of our canola oil. And we're gonna add in here about a ½ teaspoon because we know moderation is the key.
Absolutely.
So let's get that pan hot. And now if you'll hand me the red bell peppers, we're gonna throw those, the garlic, and the onion all together. And it's a very hot pan.
And you know, that's important, it's a very hot pan, because I've gotten in trouble trying to do these and just turning the eye on and get going, and my pan's just not hot enough.
All right, so we got that, and I'm gonna take that off that incredible heat and talk about the beef. So, we're gonna show you what you don't want and what you do want, but in the interim, I've taken the liberty of slicing what we do want, which is a beautiful piece of top sirloin, but we only want about 5 ounces, which is about half of this piece. So let's throw that part back. Then I take it and I slice it ever so thin, and that keeps it tender. That's the one big issue everybody has. Well, gee, a top round can be a little tough. Well, if you slice it thinly enough, you don't have that problem. A little bit more fat on that end. So now let's take this, and it goes right into the pan.
You know, and whether you're watching your health or your waistline, you really can eat beef on occasion. It's gotten a bad rap with its saturated fat, but by choosing the leaner cuts, which we're going to show you, you can definitely bring it into your family's home and eat it for dinner a few times a week.
It's so important. And, you know, let's talk about the website here. If anybody has questions about the recipes, because this is going to move kind of quickly, you can go to mpbonline.org/fit2eat or like us on Facebook at MPB Fit to Eat. So, all right, we got our beef in there. What we're going to do at this point is kind of toss this around and blend that beef. We want to get that beef in there with the onion and the garlic, and it won't take that long to cook. Now, a little bit of black pepper for the seasoning, and then we go directly into our broccoli, okay?
Good, beautiful green, rich
Isn't that great?
Cancer-fighting phytonutrients. I mean, we should all be eating broccoli.
I mean, there's so many pluses, and it's so great in taste. Now, deglazing the pan, it's a big word. All it means is getting all the good stuff off the bottom of the pan.
Okay.
This is stock. This is a salt-free stock. So as it goes in there, now we're going to toss all this. And when we do, what we can do is get some of that, and see how all the onions have moved off the bottom?
It smells so delicious.
I know, isn't it great? Now listen,
Not only is it beautiful.
we're going to talk a little bit about the wine. You don't have to use wine in this dish. Let's say there's people who have some type of, you know, alienation toward alcohol in general. The alcohol is going to cook out.
Right.
But if you don't want to, you don't have to. I add it in because it has great flavor, and it helps steam all that broccoli. All right, we're going to save it a little bit. And then we add in, this is our soy substitute. It's an amino acid base. It has no sodium, but let's face facts. Every beef and broccoli dish that you get in most restaurants has got that incredible flavor of soy.
Absolutely.
So now,
it's unique to the Asian.
it's simmering. We're going to
Asian
turn the
dishes.
heat down. And that dish is basically complete as far as what goes in. Now we're just going to wait and let the dish cook a little bit.
Now, what's the perfect way to cook your broccoli too? Because I am guilty of always cooking it to mush.
You know, you got to look at colors.
So color.
I've always decided that when something is a vivid color, right now it's still too tough to chew.
Right.
But you want to keep it with that bright green color. And great question, by the way, because I tell you what, I bet you everybody out there has the same kind of question. It's so easy, though, to overcook it. And when you see the dull color, you know you probably have. It's too late. So in this one right now, I'm going to toss it. I know we have kind of fun with that. And we try not to wear it. I always kid around with people. The best way to practice tossing food in a skillet is with a piece of toast. And you master the piece of toast, you've mastered it. Flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it. So right now the heat is down on low. We're going to cut that off because I want to work a little bit on the rice and talk where we're going to go with this. I've got a pan over here that you can see is hot. We're going to turn the temperature way down on our rice. And we're going to add another half a teaspoon. And that's the key on oil, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean,
you use just a little bit. It's heart healthy when you use canola oil or extra virgin olive oil over maybe some of your peanut oils
That's
or
right.
your vegetable oils. And it's just really going to help add flavor and protect your heart.
That's right, and that's the key in this. So now you can see, this pan is hot. What we're going to do, turn that heat down, put the beef and broccoli over here, and I'm going to move this one where I can better get at it. I'm probably driving our camera people crazy. So what goes in here first? We're going to throw in the bell pepper.
So this is for the rice,
This
right?
is for the rice. This is
Okay.
the vegetarian brown rice, because we're cheating. I've got the rice cooked.
Yeah. But if it was quick night and you had already cooked a pot on Sunday of rice, you could
Right.
pop out
You put it, you know what, you can
your
put it
rice
in
out of the
you can
freezer.
put it in a microwave with a little stock. You could put it in a pan with a little stock.
That is such a great idea.
Oh.
That would be one thing to buy in bulk that you could actually use and save lots of money.
Yeah, and once you've got it in your refrigerator, it makes it so easy to make a meal. And let's face facts, if there's one thing people don't have, it's extra time. All right, garlic. We put it in a little bit later on this one because we don't want it to burn. Onion. So what a great mix of color too, huh?
It's
Isn't that neat?
absolutely beautiful. And you know, with the onion, if maybe, what do you feel about doing those, the ones that cheats in the freezer section that are already diced for you onions? How do
Really?
you feel about those?
Really not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's take this. I'm going to deglaze. That was jalapenos I threw in there.
Ooh, for a
So we're
little
going to
spice.
spice it up a little bit. We're going to add the stock in. We're going to throw our rice in. And I tell you what, At this point, how about you take us over and show us a little bit about lean cuts? And I'm going to kind of move this around.
Absolutely. So, the first thing to do when you're buying in the grocery store, whether it's any food, is you want to check the label. So when you're looking for the leanest cuts of beef, you really want to make sure that the label is the first thing that you look at. So here are a few pointers to help you pick out the leanest cuts of beef whenever you are shopping at your local grocer. Now, roast. Let's start with roast. You want to pick one. Usually we eat roast on Sunday dinner all across Mississippi, right? But you want to make sure you look for the words top round or sirloin. And then you also want to look to see if it's maybe USDA choice, because if you pick prime, here's a good example of what the choice would look like. And when you choose prime, that usually means there's a little bit more fat. But when you look at the coloring here, you're not going to see as many of the white strips or that's called marbling. All that means is that's the fat. So the less white that you have in your roast, then the leaner it's going to be. You see how pretty and pink this particular one is. Now, when you're going for steaks, and who doesn't want a steak on a Friday or Saturday night and you fire up the grill for your family? Again, you want to look for USDA choice or select cuts. They're going to be the leaner. And then you're going to look for the words round or sirloin also on the label. Again, here you can tell that there's very little of that marbling like in the roast that's going to make it a leaner cut of beef. And probably the number one used beef at home is going to be ground beef. You can use this in just about any recipe, but the trick here is you want to look for the lowest percentage, and it's going to be found on the label, and you're going to be able to see this is 90% lean and 10% fat. So the higher the percentage on the lean part, the better off you're going to be with lowering the fat content. Now, when you choose leaner cuts of beef, you never lose the protein content or the nutrients that make beef so important, like zinc. Zinc's what's very important to keep your immune system going, as well as iron. Iron helps keep our blood and levels up as well. So those are all important nutrients found in beef that make it part of our diet, our healthy diet. And a trick too is maybe sometimes the leanest cut of ground beef is going to be the most expensive, right? So if you have to buy the fattier cuts or the fattier ground beef, you will ground it as normal, get you a colander, put it in the colander, rinse it with really warm water, watch all the grease and fat drain down your drain, and then put it back into your dish and continue to cook. And you're going to be able to save lots of fat grams and lower your cholesterol content with just that easy tip.
Well,
Now,
I'll tell you
Rob,
what, I think that is fantastic. And I tell you what, I know down the road you're going to be doing a lot of nutritional kind of interjections in the show.
Yeah.
And as we get a little bit further, maybe we could talk a little bit about this. What I'm going to do is go directly into doing our turnip. And this turnip green side dish is absolutely delicious. We're going to throw this with some garlic.
Greens are the number one choice when you want to add more vitamins and minerals to your diet, but no calories or fat or cholesterol. So anytime you can sneak a green into your meal is the way to go.
And you don't have to cook them for hours. This is what we're going to show. And don't forget, gang, I know we're doing a lot on this. MPB online, mpb.org/fit-to-eat is the website. And you can go also to Facebook to MPB Fit to Eat. So again, mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat, or Facebook us and like us. So we've got in here right now some garlic, some onion. We're putting in some roasted red peppers.
Now you have purple onions. What's the difference between purple or the white or the yellow?
I think they're a little sweeter. They actually will caramelize a little bit quicker, and the flavor of them to me works with the bitter greens a little bit better.
Okay.
So again, just a little bit of black pepper. We're going to toss this and kind of let this brown. And again, we use the pan that the beef was in because all the flavors are going to meld together. Look how crispy that looks, though, huh?
And I wish everyone could just smell how just
Isn't it
absolutely
incredible?
scrumptious it is.
Beautiful rice, great beef and broccoli, nice light portion size.
Who knew
You know, and that's
healthy
the
could
key.
be so pretty and,
I tell you.
smell so
Now,
delicious.
you know, it is kind of funny, and maybe we can get one close-up. I'm going to show the difference. You went through some beautiful beef.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some that is really heavily marbled, which would be the big difference and far more expensive. So, you know, you can get a ribeye or a filet, but when you're really looking, and here is, we used our top round. I'm going to turn this so you can see the fat and the marbling that's in the ribeye, and then the filet that's in front. Heavily marbled, darker color, big difference, but also $20 or more a pound. So not only is this healthier, but it's a lot less expensive. Anyhow.
And remember, portion size is key too. So when you're out at a lovely restaurant and you do want to partake in maybe some of the more fattier cuts of beef, you want to keep it to about the size of your palm. You know, the size of your palm is perfect for you. The
Right.
size of mine is perfect for me. And then you can take the rest home and you can feel good about your choice.
Sounds great. All right, we're going to deglaze this pan again with a little stock. And then what we're going to do while that pan is bubbling is add in, these are the sliced turnip greens. And we only need about a cup of those.
Now, would mustard greens be the same as turnip greens
Yeah,
in the
collard
store?
greens, mustard green. I mean, they're a huge variety, and it really depends. This comes from a farmer's market, and I love to go to the farmer's market and get what they have. And I often tell people, they may not look quite as pretty, but no pesticides, no preservatives, nothing's added to them. So it's so much better for you.
And the farmer's love.
Well, and you got to support your farmers markets.
Absolutely.
You know, it's so important. Let's see how we're doing on this.
I love that you use tongs instead of spoons or forks to stir with.
Yeah, it just really works well. So let's take a little look at where we are on this. The greens, I don't cook them long. You know, the big difference there is, how do they normally cook them? With lard, with pork fat.
And boiling them down
boiling
to know
and
them.
boiling. You know, my kids can't stand them. Most children won't eat them because it's kind of chewy and sinewy. This, it's fresh, it's crunchy. And again, your question about how do you know when they're done? Bright green and slightly wilted. And look at that. You can see it right there.
That was so quick. There's
Isn't
no
that neat?
excuse not to be able to do
Right,
that
look
side
at that. You
dish.
can see that on camera. I mean, that's a great view they've got on the camera looking at it. I'm going to toss this pan. Watch this. The kind of fun part like we talked about. And all we do is flip them over, move all of this around, and look at all that great stuff in there with them, huh?
That is just nothing but delicious, nutritious side dish.
I'm
Now, you
telling
compare
you.
that with just about anything that you had in the, could you do this with like a lean chicken breast or something? I mean, this was so quick.
Absolutely. You could actually use chicken. You could take a lean cut of pork. You could do virtually anything in this same idea. And the beauty about the rice, okay, we have the rice finished. That can go into a resealable freezer bag as a finished product. And if you're in the hurry or you want to take something healthy to work with you, bag that, take it to work, put it in the microwave for a minute, and you got an incredible, flavorful meal. Add to it your protein. Could be a mushroom. Could be a portobello mushroom.
Absolutely, and I was just thinking, could you do half and half rice and beans and make that a very good vegetarian option?
Absolutely.
Now, which bean would you pair with that with the flavors?
Oh my gosh, you could do anything with it. White bean, you could do black, but you could do a variety.
Maybe a variety?
Yeah, really kind of fun, you know. And I tell you what, we're going to get to a point right now where what we'll do is take a little travel to Oxford to the Southern Foodways Alliance at Ole Miss, take a glimpse of the hot tamale.
So the Southern Foodways Alliance is an affiliated institute of the Center for the Study of Southern Culture here at the University of Mississippi in Oxford, Mississippi. Our mission is to document, study, and celebrate the diverse food cultures of the changing American South. Mississippi is a story I always like to tell because I have, over the past few years, been able to travel and spread the good word of the SFA and the oral history work we do. And whenever I'm outside of Mississippi, I always try to tell Mississippi stories because people do have so many preconceptions about the state in general and are not particularly familiar with its foodways. And part of our mission, or a real cornerstone of our mission, is to look at society through food and gather social history through food, starting at the table and then talking about different issues once you get there. And one of our more popular projects is the Mississippi Delta Hot Tamale Trail, which has been a really great project since we started in 2005 to tell the story of the culture and history of tamales in the Mississippi Delta, which is a head scratcher for a lot of people. The first thing about Delta tamales is that they came from a Latin American style tamale and were likely came with Mexican migrant laborers who came through Mississippi in the late 19th and early 20th century to harvest the cotton crops in the Delta. But when tamales came here, they kind of transformed, and a lot of that was due to, accessible ingredients. So one of the ways that tamales in the Delta are different than traditional Latin American style tamales is they use the corn meal instead of the masa harina or the corn flour, and so they're a lot grittier in texture. And then another really signature thing about Delta tamales is that they're simmered in water. Usually traditional Latin American style tamales are steamed. And so then too, it was part of kind of this supply and demand thing in the Delta, where there are all these Mexican field workers who had this culinary tradition that, again, I mean, just to underscore the filling nature of tamales, the nutritional nature. It's a warm meal on a cold, October harvest day. And a little goes a long way. And again, all the ingredients were familiar. So you have beef or pork and cornmeal and things that were accessible here.
All right, guess what?
What?
We are ready to plate this incredible meal.
It's dinner time.
It is dinner time, and we are going to feast. So what we're going to do first, because the rice is probably the one thing, it's kind of like making a dam with water. It'll hold the food where we want it to go. We've got enough for 2 portions, so let's take this and take one side, and we're going to try and leave enough room on this other side for the bitter greens. Now we're going to come to this side, and I tell you what, we were talking a little bit about the future shows and what you're going to do on the show. This may be kind of a neat chance, I'm going to go through, let's put all this. Look at how great that is.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, what I hope to do with the viewers is really help give them tricks and tips that are super simple swaps to make their everyday menus healthier. Because, really we can reverse obesity in Mississippi one healthy habit at a time. And together, if we all take those first steps, incorporate the small things that we talk about here on the show, it's really going to make a huge impact, not only for you and your family, but also for our state and our community as well.
Well, I think it's fantastic because it fits right in with what we're doing. And I mean, look at how beautiful that beef and broccoli, it's got all the bulk that you would want. That beautiful juice gets in the rice. That's the best part.
Makes it
I mean, that's absolutely my
snacking
favorite.
Good.
Now,
everybody knows how to diet in Mississippi or everywhere else, but nobody really knows how to eat. And this is eating. This is what you should be doing.
And look at the difference in the greens. Watch when we put this on the plate. They still have some firmness to them. I tell you, it's just, can you get the aroma?
Absolutely.
I mean,
it just smells warm
I know,
and inviting.
it's a shame that aroma can't get on TV. And
we need scratch and sniff technology.
The day that happens is the day we're going to have to watch out for probably. But, the beautiful part of this is, to me, it's a wonderfully balanced meal. You've got all the great flavors going on. And yet, look at that. It is like the most beautiful variety of vegetables that will give people the healthy side that they need.
Absolutely, that everybody needs more of. You at least need 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. You have got 2 of your servings right here at the dinner table.
And really good tasting, I mean, that's going to be the fun.
That. What's it taste like?
Yeah, that's right. You know what?
Dietitian wants to eat.
Come on, take one little bite of any portion of that and we'll have a little fun with it.
Let's see, I want to try one of your...
All right, and because I tell you what we're doing right there leads right into our nutritional values. So we have calories of 466, carbohydrates of 47 grams, proteins of 41 grams, saturated fat virtually none at 4 grams. So, I mean, that is just utterly fantastic. So at this point, I'd like to thank our guest nutritionist, and Rebecca, let me tell you, it's been a pleasure working with you tonight. And if you are interested out there in this recipe or any of our recipes, visit the webpage at mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat, or like us and join us on Facebook at MPB Fit to Eat. So until next time, I'm Chef Rob Stinson. Rebecca, eat well.